didn't know what I wanted to call this. But then I put on... It sucks! And then I decided to call it the Luck of the Irish. Because my shirt says, I just want to swim with mermaids, ride a unicorn, and chase rainbows. I mean, not necessarily. I've heard some fables about these things. But, I just want to see, you know, a functional utilitarian utopian meritocracy where people recognize their earnings, feel equality, fight, or even just exist in fairness, where they can properly self-medicate and nourish themselves and enjoy the self-mastery path. That's what I say a lot, besides the to each their own, etc. Because I have some theories. There was like the Bible quote where not every man should be a teacher because whatever they teach another, they might be also like liable for its doings. And I would suggest that probably includes like whoever funds or acts in awareness of what's going on. The liability on their soul could also be there. Oh, because I smell of karma. Because the way that I think of it is that the I'm rubber, you're glue talk from childhood. I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounce off of me and sticks to you, could always be at play. I mean, did we ever correct that from childhood? No, I think almost every child might have said it at one point or another. So maybe those rules have always been in effect. And that's often kind of what I say with the to each their own sources, intentions, functions, methods, paths, trajectories, proper and adequate commemorations, is because realistically, I just try to remind people to look at what they've been saying, or try to, because it's difficult. And there's a lot of scenarios where it feels like we could be tempted to wish certain things upon others. And I say it kind of jokingly, like, what if everybody around you is like a bot, or a psyop, or a prompt, or whatever, then whatever, and the Black Mirror effect, and whatever you say, whatever feelings you have towards the scenario, really it's rummaging around in your person, regardless. So that's why when I hear stories about myself, or when somebody brings something to me, usually I try to like sit with it and like ask them what they were intending to do with that. And usually I say, I mean, to each their own, preferred languages of whatever, but why did you decide that I was the person to bring that to? Because in a lot of cases I just kind of like wince, like, what is that? Why? I'd prefer, and like there's many times where I say, personally, I really like the idea of, or I've heard, just in case they might desire to think of another option, or be aware that there are other options. Because a lot of the stories that we've been told were likely told for a reason, but are they actually the greatest things for us to breathe power into? Because I was doing the review, and it was talking about, like, I want to call it like the games people play, or what people kind of do in order to try to get like an upper hand or whatever. But what if those concepts or stories were actually never necessary? Maybe it's not this or that, but it's like the center path of whatever we dare to speak power into. And again, if so, for protection and for comfort, a lot of times if we're like, that our brains are alerted so that we can be very aware of the not that thing. But for proper realignment and steering, again, that praise ratio of minimum 5.6 confirmations, affirmations, directives, correctives to, like, I would say 5.6 to 8 is almost the minimum if possible. That's why when somebody brings me something, a lot of the times my thing that I try to do is to recognize, inquire as to why they are saying that, because maybe I'm missing something. I could there's a chance, there's a great chance that I might not have learned something yet. And I like being rebuked if possible. If it's actually kind and functional and gentle and sweet. If people are just trying to mirror me because they think that they see me doing something, it might feel a little off place. They could ask me questions too. I quite enjoy being asked questions like, "Hey Kayla, why do you do that?" Oh, glad you asked. I have 1,000 reasons. If you're curious, if you're actually curious. Again, the concept of do not try to offer somebody folly, but build them up. And the building up often takes a lot of fluff for people to feel comfortable. So that's why I try to breathe as much amazing power into what I would rather have seen in its stead. Again, be careful what you wish for, because even if you say it about somebody else, I mean that's the luck of the thing. We might get what we wish for, but where, how, when, and if it's done with a certain intention and that's how it manifests itself is with that same intention. I try to go as gentle as possible, but still be authentic and real. There's a very weird line there, but I think I was actually, has it been a few times where people have tried to claim that I was a witch, and even though I do accept the fact that I utilize magic words, I believe that everybody uses magic words, and I don't try to use mine to sway another. If anything, whenever I use them, I not to push people away, but to showcase the distinct line and allow them to choose their own way. If they want to inquire as to why I'm choosing the way that I'm choosing, again, I have lots of concepts and evidence and rationale behind it, but I'm not going to force my way on anybody else, because there's a very great chance that they're not supposed to go my way. And I'm not going to necessarily ever accept anything that's presented to me, not until I can feel like it's done in clean intention, clean spirits, and actually themselves. So the technology that I've heard, they're very questionable about the sources and what's going on with them. However, I do try to talk to and inquire with anybody's oversouls at the same time, and just try to show them the most respect. And sometimes it feels like I try to respect them more than what they've been presenting to me respects themselves even. So not that I ever want to necessarily try to correct or rebuke a person, because no, I would rather just be comfortable. I would really just like to be comfortable in existence. However, I feel like it's a duty to offer potential articulations that could be kinder to their beautiful, innocent, brilliant child mind spirit that I believe that they have, maybe just kind of under some protective covers or masks. I dare, not necessarily for who they're presenting to me, but I dare for that entity deep inside them that might be hiding because they've heard so many stories that led them to act a certain way. Because I think that they deserve the most amazing timeline ever. I think we all deserve the most amazing timeline ever. And anytime that I get energy of any sort. I try to honor it, to utilize it, and to respect it. So even though I kind of like put up a verbal, like almost like a boundary line, I still try to give them potential functions and give them a little bit of like gentle protection so that maybe if they desired something else, that they see that there are indeed options. So I've seen a lot of like the spiritual talks about that being a potential, I call it between burnout and breakthrough, that I meet people. And it's up to them to see how they see me, because I'm going to continually be myself. It turns out I'm pretty locked in. And I hope, and that's still like locked into a very variable entity. But how people see me is not in my control. However, I do try to offer as much intel, awareness, gentleness, care as I can muster, just in case. Just in case. So, I mean, luckily for me, my last name is Quinn, and then what's the motto for the last name I saw was Quaesursum volo videre, which means there's a couple different variants of what it could mean, but I wish to see what is beyond. And sometimes I feel like I can almost see what is beyond, even though I try often to get articulative clarity on what I'm seeing, so that when we talk about a certain thing, that I can say, this is what I'm seeing, or I see something here. Is there something that you want to like talk to or add to flesh out your perspective of what this scenario is? Because I don't want to assume. It's not mine too. But as soon as something feels a little bit weird, I'm gonna usually talk to it to some degree. And if they're not able or willing to address it, sometimes I just have to gently walk away. But I do my best. So this is episode 566, and we're going for a German waltz. That's funny. It's like luck of the I wish, but we had the Ger waltz. It's G-E-R waltz. Ger! He's advanced. What is this? I got a 15, an 11, a 10, a 9, and a 6. So it's 20, 35, 45, 51. Simple lead.